What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. College men's basketball. Virginia Cavaliers versus Duke Blue Devils. Virginia has an 11.9% chance to win. Duke has an 88.1% chance to win. This is at Duke. So Virginia is 11 nation, 25-3 record. Duke is 1 nation, 26-2 record. For stats, Duke has more points per game. Virginia has more points against. Duke has higher field goal percentage. Virginia has more rebounds per game. Duke has more assists per game. Virginia has more blocks per game, and Duke has more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Duke will beat Virginia tomorrow. Louisville Cardinals versus Clemson Tigers. Louisville has a 58.2% chance to win, and Clemson has a 41.8% chance to win. This is at Clemson. Louisville's 24 nation, 20-8 record. Clemson's unranked, 20-8 record. For stats, let's see, Louisville has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. The only stat that's really a big difference is the points per game. It's it's a 11.9 difference in favor of Louisville. The rest are pretty close. So despite the home field advantage that Clemson has, I think with the points per game advantage, I think Louisville will beat Clemson tomorrow. Vanderbilt Commodores versus Kentucky Wildcats. Vandy is a 43.6% chance to win, and Kentucky is a 56.4% chance to win. This is at Kentucky. Vandy is 25 nation, 22-6 record. Kentucky is unranked, 18-10 record. For stats, Vandy has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage. Kentucky has more rebounds per game. Vandy has more assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Kentucky will beat Vandy tomorrow. Kansas Jayhawks versus Arizona Wildcats. Kansas has an 18.9% chance to win, and Arizona is a 81.1% chance to win. This is at Arizona. Kansas is 14 nation, 21-7 record. Arizona is 2 nation, 26-2 record. For stats, Arizona has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game, assists per game. Kansas has more blocks per game, and Arizona has more steals per game. The only stat that's really a big difference is the points per game, which is a 10.6 difference in favor of Arizona. So with that and the home field advantage, I think Arizona will beat Kansas tomorrow. Texas Tech Red Raiders versus Iowa State Cyclones. Texas Tech has a 23% chance to win. Iowa State is a 77% chance to win. This is at Iowa. Texas Tech is 16 nation, 21-7 record. Iowa State's 4 nation, 24-4 record. For stats, Iowa State has more points per game. Texas Tech has more points against. Iowa State has a higher field goal percentage. Texas Tech has more rebounds per game. Iowa State has more assists per game. Texas Tech has more blocks per game, and Iowa State has more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Iowa State will beat Texas Tech tomorrow. Nebraska Cornhuskers versus USC Trojans. Nebraska is a 69.4% chance to win. USC is a 30.6% chance to win. This is at USC. Nebraska is 12 nation, 24-4 record. USC is unranked, 18-10 record. For stats, USC has more points per game, points against. Uh, Nebraska is a higher field goal percentage. USC has more rebounds per game. Nebraska has more assists per game. USC has more blocks per game, and Nebraska has more steals per game. The only stat that's really big difference here is the points against, which is a 11.4 difference in favor of Nebraska. So I think despite the home field advantage that USC has, I think with the points against gap, which leads to a big defensive gap, I think Nebraska will beat USC tomorrow. BYU Cougars versus West Virginia Mountaineers. BYU is a 61.2% chance to win. West Virginia is a 38.8% chance to win. This is at West Virginia. BYU is 19 in nation, 20-8 record. West Virginia is unranked, 16-12 record. For stats, BYU is more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. So the stats with the big difference are points per game, points against. With points per game, it's a 16.0 difference in favor of BYU, and points against, it's a 10.6 difference in favor of West Virginia. So BYU has a better offense, but a worse defense. So with that, that could cancel each other out. Then decent margin, I think. So a lot of that, then I think home field advantage will be a big thing there. So I think West Virginia will beat BYU tomorrow. Alabama Crimson Tide versus Tennessee Volunteers. Alabama is a 33.2% chance to win. Tennessee is a 66.8% chance to win. This is at Tennessee. Bama is 17 nation, 21-7 record. Tennessee's 22 nation, 20-8 record. For stats, Bama has more points per game, points against. Tennessee's a higher field goal percentage, and there's more rebounds per game, assists per game. Bama has more blocks per game. Tennessee's more steals per game. So stats with the big difference here are points per game and points against. So points per game, it's a 12.4 difference in favor of Alabama, and points against, it's a 14.5 difference in favor of Tennessee. So those I would say cancel out within a decent margin of error. So then it becomes down to home field advantage. So I think Tennessee will beat Alabama tomorrow. Villanova Wildcats versus St. John's Red Storm. Villanova has a 27.2% chance to win, and St. John's has a 72.8% chance to win. This is at St. John's. Villanova is unranked, 22-6 record. St. John's is 15 nation, 22-6 record. For stats, St. John's is more points per game, points against. Villanova is a higher field goal percentage. St. John's is more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close. Now, home field advantage probably won't matter here because it's St. John's. I mean, it's not necessarily a, you know, these aren't necessarily big basketball schools. I mean, you know, it could be interesting. So with that, I think the rankings will then be the big thing. St. John's is ranked at 15 for a reason. So I think St. John's will beat Villanova tomorrow. Arkansas Razorbacks versus Florida Gators. Arkansas is a 20.1% chance to win, and Florida is a 79.9% chance to win. This is at Florida. Arkansas's 20 nation, 21-7 record. Florida's 7 nation, 22-6 record. For stats, Arkansas has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage. Florida has more rebounds per game. Arkansas is more assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Florida will beat Arkansas tomorrow. Virginia Tech Hokies versus North Carolina Tar Heels. Virginia Tech has a 17.6% chance to win. And North Carolina has an 82.4% chance to win. This is at UNC. So Virginia Tech's unranked 18-10 record. North Carolina's 18 nation, 22-6 record. For stats, North Carolina has more points per game. Virginia Tech has more points against. North Carolina has a higher field goal percentage and has more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and Virginia Tech has more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think North Carolina will beat Virginia Tech tomorrow. Gonzaga Bulldogs versus St. Mary's Gaels. Um, Gonzaga has a 63.6% chance to win. St. Mary's has a 36.4% chance to win. This is at St. Mary's. Gonzaga's is 9 nation, 28-2 record. As St. Mary's is unranked, 26-4 record. For stats, Gonzaga has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage, rebounds per game's even. Gonzaga has more assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think St. Mary's will beat Gonzaga tomorrow. College women's basketball. Maryland Terrapins versus Michigan Wolverines. Maryland has a 25.9% chance to win, and Michigan has a 74.1% chance to win. This is Michigan. So Maryland's 14 nation, 23-6 record. Michigan's 8 nation, 23-5 record. For stats, Michigan has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage. Maryland has more rebounds per game. Um, Michigan has more assists per game. Maryland has more blocks per game. Michigan has more assists per game. So these stats are pretty close. So I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Michigan will beat Maryland tomorrow. NBA. Houston Rockets versus Miami Heat. The Rockets have a 59.2% chance to win. The Heat have a 40.8% chance to win. This is at Miami. For injuries, for the Rockets, Smith Jr., Tate, and Van Vliet are out, and Adams is out for the season. For the Heat, Jovic and Powell are out, and Rozier's out for a non-injury reason. For stats, Heat have more points per game, points against. Rockets have a higher field goal percentage, and then more rebounds per game. Heat have more assists per game. Rockets have more blocks per game, and Heat have more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Heat will beat the Rockets tomorrow. Los Angeles Lakers versus Golden State Warriors. The Lakers have a 45.3% chance to win, and the Warriors have a 54.7% chance to win. This is at Golden State. Uh, for injuries, for the Lakers, Hachimura's game time decision. For the Warriors, Green and Porzingis are game time decisions, and Curry, and Cryer out. For stats, Warriors have more points per game. Lakers have more points against. Higher field goal percentage. Warriors have more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close. Well, with the way the injuries are, I mean, whatever home field advantage, despite the home field advantage that Golden State has, I think with all these injury issues, that's really going to affect the Warriors. I think the Lakers will beat the Warriors tomorrow. College baseball. Florida Gators versus Miami Hurricanes. Florida is a 10 nation, 10-1 record. Miami 17 nation, 10-1 record. This game is at Miami. So yeah, this could be a big game. Like two highly ranked teams, same state at Miami. It's, that's gonna be a well-attended game. Could be pretty good. I think with it being at Miami, I think Miami will beat Florida tomorrow. UCLA Bruins versus Texas A&M Aggies. UCLA's one nation 7-2 record. Texas A&M's 23 nation 8-0 record. This is part of the Omega Bank College baseball series, so this is in Arlington, Texas. So obviously it's gonna be more of a home game for A&M. Two highly ranked baseball teams. Like this could be a good game. How A10 is for as far as A&M's concerned. UCLA probably not as much, and that could play a role. So since A&M's a school that does have a lot of people show up for baseball. Not every school could say that in the SEC. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good game. I think with it being at Arlington, I think Texas A&M will beat UCLA tomorrow. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.